Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday to you all. My name's Rebecca. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a QTT personal development coach and mentor and a homeopath. And I use all three methods to help as many people as I can to be as healthy and as happy as they can be, and quite critically, I think, to access the tools that enable them to stay that way. So my Monday messages are part of my commitment to that. And I just pop in here every Monday to share a thought, a simple practice, an idea, a focus for your week going forward to help support you in connecting as much as you can with, firstly, with yourself, to know what it is that you need to be as healthy and as happy as you can. And therefore, if you're connected better with yourself, that you're able to connect better with your world and the people that you love and the people that you are surrounded by. And if you're able to do that, you're also able to self-regulate much better, to actually negotiate all that life throws at you with grace and with empathy, hopefully. So today, I wanted to actually continue from something that I introduced last week, which was maybe inviting you to focus a bit more on having eye-to-eye contact, uninterrupted eye-to-eye contact with somebody, anybody, or with everybody. And I told you about a study that was done actually 20 years ago, which found that just 4 minutes of eye-to-eye contact with no talking actually enhanced our connection with that person and enhanced our ability to feel and to be empathetic and sympathetic and kind and respectful and tolerant and all of those things. So I asked you to let me know if you were able to do that and what you found. And I also said that I would share with you what I found from doing it. And I found it very interesting. So I can see there's a couple of people on, so you're very, very welcome. And if you're watching the replay, then you're equally welcome, and your comments are equally welcome. I would love to find out how you're getting on with connecting with people with your eyes. So, yeah, I chose to do the 4 minute eye-to-eye contact with my husband, and he chose to do it with me, which is rather fortunate. And what I found from it was that I've started to really notice how much we can communicate without using words, and how actually when we don't use words, our other senses are enhanced. I've noticed that, when I sit quietly in the garden, for example, that if I'm not talking, I'm not even talking to myself, that I really hear every sound that's around me, that I smell all the smells that are around me, that I notice things. I notice, butterflies or insects, or I notice with my ears too that I can hear the wind blowing. I can tell the difference between the wind blowing in the trees or the wind blowing in the grass. And the kind of concerted result of all of that is that I am calm and I'm peaceful and I'm more connected with myself. I start to notice actually how I feel about whatever is going on at that particular part of my life. And I'm starting to notice that I use words maybe a bit too much, a bit too often, that they are a kind of knee-jerk response often. And often words come out that I think didn't really mean to say that. That's not what I meant to communicate. So I'm committing myself to making a conscious effort to use my other senses much more, because they're all there for a reason. They're all there actually ultimately to protect us. If you think about your sense of smell, for example. Good morning, Shona. You're very, very welcome. Hope you had a lovely weekend. Your sense of smell, when we think about it, is there for lots of different reasons, but primarily to protect us. So it protects us from eating food that might be rancid or off or toxic in some way. It protects us from going into environments that might be, have toxic air in them, gases or anything like that. It protects us from, it alerts us to burning, anything like that. I've had a couple of clients over the years that have a compromised sense of smell, and it's very debilitating. And all of our senses work together to give us what we call things like intuition. I believe our intuition is actually all of our senses working together to actually give us information and to connect with our hearts and all of our senses so that we make a truly heartfelt decision of some sort. And I think we're becoming a little bit unconnected with that. So following on from last week, I wanted to encourage you this week to actually just really notice your other senses and how much information they give you. I noticed when I was doing the exercise with the eye-to-eye contact with my husband, there was so much communication between the two of us without any words being necessary. And there are all sorts of senses that we have that we just forget about. We don't pay any attention to it. We don't honour them, and we don't listen to them. Often when we meet people, before they've even opened their mouths, we've kind of made a decision about them. That's based on a quick assessment of usually their face, actually, but also their body language, and all sorts of other things that we just do. It's habit. It's part of who we are. We make that decision without words even needing to be spoken. And I think we would do well to enhance those skills and to actually listen to them more than we currently do. And if we do that, we're going to know ourselves much better, and we're going to notice other people much more. We're going to hear them, we're going to see them, we're going to smell them, we're going to touch them, hopefully. Just a simple gesture, a hug or a smile, or even just a hand on the arm, anything like that, actually can speak volumes in certain situations. And sometimes words just get in the way. They become a sort of protection device, and they can often keep people at arm's length when we don't really want to be keeping them at arm's length. Now, of course, sometimes we do. So I'm just really asking you to be conscious of how much you're using words when you could maybe just use a little gesture or a touch or a smile or a hug, something like that. Good morning, Gronya. You're very welcome. We're talking about our senses this morning. And just actually practicing that. So practicing not talking and just really exercising, if you like. You're listening and you're seeing and you're smelling and even you're tasting. If we think about eating, for example, there are so many people with digestive complaints these days. And yes, it can be about what you're eating, but it's just as much, I think, about how you're eating. Excuse me. The digestive process, I'm not sure if many of you know, but it actually starts in your mouth. And we are meant to start the breaking down of food so that it can be used by us. That starts in our mouths. We're meant to keep food in our mouths longer than most of us do. We're supposed to be masticating, so using our teeth to break things down, but also those digestive juices, the saliva in our mouths, starts to break it down. We're meant to be smelling food, as I say, as a protective thing, but also for enjoyment, because that actually signals the mouth and the digestive juices to start flowing. We're meant to really taste our food for the same reasons. And that's both for protection, but also for enjoyment, to get those juices flowing. And if we're talking all the time while we're eating, or even around eating, we're kind of hurrying that process. We're not honouring it. We're not doing it efficiently, actually. And we're setting ourselves up for digestive problems, even in the extent of, if we don't hold food in our mouth for long enough, then the messages that the rest of our digestion or the rest of our body gets, which is, it's okay, there's food here, you don't need to be asking for more food, they don't get through because it's not in the mouth long enough. So we end up eating more food than we actually need. So just slowing everything down and really noticing all of our senses and what they're doing will help us to connect more with ourselves and ultimately with other people. So that's what I wanted to invite you all to do this week, is just slow down, maybe just cool it on the talking front, just maybe give yourself a pause before you kind of feel that you have to say something. Maybe a gesture will do, maybe a smile will do, maybe a touch, just a touch, a connection of some sort will actually speak volumes for you. So I'm going to invite you to commit to some kind of period of time daily, actually, to do that, to sit quietly and just listen and look and taste and feel and all of those things, and just notice what it gives you. Notice how you don't need words to connect with yourself or to other people. I'd love to know what you think of that, or whether you've noticed that maybe you're a little bit wordy. I'm totally guilty of that myself, so I am committed to practicing this myself. Do let me know how you get on. And if you'd like to know more about how I work and whether you think you'd like to work with me, either in a coaching capacity or personal development capacity or with homeopathy, or all three, then just go to my website, and the address is in the post with this video. And you can actually register for a free phone call there, and you can ask me as many questions as you like, and we can what's the best way to support you in leading your best life. So I wish you all a very good, connected week, and look forward to you sharing what you find from connecting with your other senses. Thanks very much for watching. Take care.